works out, you know, I'm just going to light a weed and smoke it and drink and get high, just to take my mind off my responsibilities and my challenges. And that is why divorce rate increased in COVID, because those persons never had the opportunity to go out and party, so they had no other choice but to face their Goliaths. And because of that, their marriages crumbled and a lot of things crumbled. Now, we have to understand that by spending time in the dimension of distraction, it can affect us greatly. Because what we are doing is we are running away from our responsibilities. Write this down. Unattended responsibilities will lead to future chaos. Unattended responsibilities will lead to future chaos. If every day I get up, I just throw a stone in this bucket, throw a stone in this bucket, throw a stone, one day the bucket is going to burst. Many of us, the reason why we are in some crisis right now is because we have been running away from our responsibilities. And we find ourselves drifting away, drifting away, drifting away. So unattended responsibilities will always lead to future chaos. Because if you neglect today, God will never give you tomorrow. And many of us, the reason why we are not building generational wealth and operating in our greatness is because we are neglecting today and we are hoping that God will give us tomorrow. Are you here with me today? Good, at least I have some of you. Now, the second dimension is the dimension of delusion. It's when we are believing something that is not true. We have to understand that there is a thin line between faith and folly. Faith and folly has the same declaration, but different approach. Faith says, I will become great, and take action to become great. Folly says, I will become great, but I'm going to sit and wait for it to come to me. And whenever you are in the dimension of delusion, you are setting up yourself for depression. Because you can't reap if you never sow. The dimension of delusion. Faith says what we have to do is we have to begin to look at faith as a whole. Too many of us had been looking at faith as a fraction and not as a whole. Faith is a portion of belief and a portion of action. I take action because I believe, and because I believe, I take action. So faith is a portion of belief and a portion of, work this with me. Faith is a portion of belief and a portion of. So it therefore means that whenever I pray, I must prepare for what I've prayed for. Because lack of preparation is unfair to the manifestation of our prayer. If I pray for a wife, but I don't prepare to become a husband, am I going to be a blessing to the wife that was sent to be a blessing to me? God bless you, Pastor Downey. I'm prophesying it. Lack of preparation is unfair to the manifestation of our prayer. Oh God, send a man of God in my life. A man that can preach like like Bishop Taylor. Oh God. But you're there and you don't even know 3 scriptures. How in the world are you going to hold up a man of God like that? So you're living in the dimension of delusion because you are not preparing for what you have prayed for. Are you here with me still? The next dimension is the dimension of demand. It's when we are only productive when life demands it or other people demands it. So if I'm not preaching, I don't study. If I'm not supposed to sing or lead the choir, I'm not going to pray and get myself in the spirit. I'm only productive whenever life demands it or other people demands it. So what we do is we give other people power to our greatness. Because if you don't push me, I'm not going to be pushed. We are living in the dimension of the man. When you look at the baby eagle and the mother eagle, when it's time for the baby eagle to fly, the mother eagle has to go in and stir up the nest and throw baby eagle off the cliff, and baby eagle has to fly or die. And some of us, God has to put us into some situation because we only change because of inspiration or desperation. And God sometimes has to put us into some desperate situation just for us to give birth to the greatness and the gifts that are in us. How can you create generational wealth and you're not? And it's only when people push you, you're productive. So the first one we had was the dimension of distraction. The second one was the dimension of delusion. And the third one is the dimension of, come on, work this with me, the dimension of demand. The fourth one, which is the final one, is the dimension of, let me go here, is the dimension of fulfillment. Somebody say fulfillment. The fourth one is the dimension of fulfillment. In this dimension, what you're doing is you are doing things that are important even when they are not urgent. There's a lot of people who only do important things when they are urgent. But whenever you are in the dimension of fulfillment, you will do things that are important even when they are not urgent. Like savings. Savings is not urgent, but you do it because it is important. So that when it becomes urgent, you don't have to lose your mind because it is there. Your health. It is not urgent right now, but it is important. And a lot of people, they spend their life going after wealth just to spend it back on their health. We chase wealth just to spend it back on our health. So we have to take care of our health by doing it because it is important and it's not urgent. What dimension is your mind spending its time? Are you in the dimension of delusion, the dimension of distraction, or the dimension of demand? Or are you in the dimension of fulfillment? Our goal is to spend at least 60% of our time in the dimension of fulfillment. At least 60. But many of us, we don't. We don't. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, come on, work this with me. Say, neighbor, where is your mind spending its time? The next thing that we have to look at in creating generational wealth is money. Somebody say money. Church people don't like to hear about money. Say money. No, money is not evil. The Bible never said that. The Bible says that the love of money is the root of all evil. Matter of fact, there is a scripture in, I think it's Ecclesiastes, where the Bible says that money answereth all. Now, what we have to understand is that if we want to be rich, we have to do what the rich do. Poor people, when they get their money, they spend and invest what's left. Rich people, when they get their money, they invest first and spend what's left. Why? Because they're investing in the future. And in order to create generational wealth, you have to invest in the future. Now, if you have your book, I want you to create a table, just a T. Create a T. When you're done, just say, I'm done. Create a T. Now, on one side, you're going to write dead money. And on the other side, you're going to write live money. So, what falls under dead money is, and what I mean by dead money is, when that money goes there, it has no returning or no coming back. Once it goes there, that's it. One thing that falls under dead money is your bills. Once you pay your bills, you can't go to JPS and say, I've been paying consistently for 3 years, give me back some money. Nope. It's dead. So one of them is your bills. Money for food, household responsibilities, loans, etc., etc. That's dead money. Dead money is money that goes into some places that has no return. Live money is money, investments, savings, tithing. That's live money. That's live money. That's live money. No, our job is to allow most of our money to go in the live money section and not the dead money section. And that's one of the strategies on how to create generational wealth. Now, the next thing under the topic of money is that we have to understand that we receive money in four ways. There are 4 categories in which we receive money. Now, the first category is the equal category, which is you receive money because you're employed. So because I'm employed, I work, I trade my time for money. Whenever you are employed, you are trading your time for money. So I go to work and I work 8 hours, 9 hours. Minister Javon know that we will work sometime 10, 12. You work, so what you're doing is you are trading time for money. So you're employed. You're employed and you're trading time for. Self-employed is like the same thing. Whenever you're self-employed is like lawyers and sole proprietors or sole traders. They are self-employed. So they trade time for money also because they are the business. Now, the last 2 is the most important to create generational wealth. And it's the B quadrant, which is you generate money because you create a business. So when you create the business, you trade time for money at first to create the business, which is the asset. And over time, the business starts to generate money. So you work and you create the business, which is an asset, and then the business that you work so hard to create start to generate money. So that's the third form of income. So it's where you work to create an asset. That even when you're not there, you could be in another country, you couldn't even die or dead. You could even die. That business is still generating money because you had created an asset and you put systems in place for it to generate money. Something the Lord revealed to me that blew my mind. We value money. It's not a negative thing. You work, you value money, you get money. But God values souls. So remember, a business is an asset that you create and you put systems in place for it to generate money so that even if you die, it will still be generating money. Look at KFC. The man that created KFC died years ago, but yet still KFC is still generating money because he had created an asset, and that asset is now creating the generational wealth that we are talking about. So we value money, but God values souls. Now, what Jesus did when Jesus came to the earth, Jesus created an asset, which is the church. And what he did was he put systems in the church, some apostles, some bishops, some prophets, some evangelists, some pastors, some teachers. And he put the system that even when Jesus was crucified, resurrected, and gone back home to glory, the asset is still generating souls. My God. Still generating souls. Because he had created an asset, which is the church, to save souls from going to you know where. So our job is to create. There is a business in all of us. But our business is locked up because of fear. The fourth one is the I quadrant, which is you generate an income because you invest. So your money is working for you. So you put some money in Barita, and in a year time it generates an extra million. You put your money over First Global, which is where you should come and put the money. And it will generate interest. So you have four quadrants. So we have the E, which is employed, the S, which is self-employed, the B, which is business owner, you create an asset, and the fourth one is investment. That's how you create generational wealth. And my question to you as I close is, how serious are you about creating generational wealth? What is your why? Why do you want to create generational wealth? What is your why? Because once your why is big enough, the how won't stand a chance. Don't worry about how you're going to do it. Why do you want to do it? Why do you want to do it? Why do you want to become the first millionaire in your family? Why? Why do you want to become a great man of God, a great woman of God, a great man or woman in the earth? Why do you want to become it? Because once you know your why, it will activate a strength in you that is not normal. When Jesus was there and Jesus was faced with the cross, and the devil said to him, just give up right here. Father, let this cup pass. I don't want to do it again. It's rough. It's tough. They are going to crucify me and disgrace me. And Father, I don't want to. I changed my mind. But then Jesus remembered his why. It's not my will, but it is your will. In other words, I don't want to create generational wealth only for me, but I want to do it for somebody. I want to do it for my daughter. I want to do it for my wife. I want to do it for my family. Your why must be greater than you. What is your why? The man says that I'm going to climb that mountain. They say, no, the mountain. The mountain is too tall and the mountain is too rocky. It's too tall. It's too broad. You can't do it. The man said, I'm going to climb this mountain.
Yeah.
Very soon, you're going to see me waving from the top to tell you that you won't be dead on the side. You will climb that mountain. You will create that generational wealth. You will become the first millionaire in your family. You will break the curses that runs in your family. They say that it is a cycle and it runs in the family, but right here is where it runs out. Right here is where it runs out. I'm going to create generational wealth. I'm going to do something with my life. My father failed, but I'm not going to fail. My mother failed, but I'm not going to fail. My brother give up, but I'm not going to give up. I'm going to create generational wealth. When we go to the text, I'm done. We go to the text and we see Isaac. And God prophesied to Isaac that, Isaac, I'm going to give you this and you're going to be great and your seeds will be blessed and you will be a father to many, just as I prophesied to your father. So everything that I prophesied to your father, you're going to get it. But then I read more in the text, man of God, and I saw where the same lie that Abraham told, it was the same lie that Isaac told. So even though he received the blessings of his father, he also received the curse of his father. Yeah. God, I want to slay Goliath like David. Yeah, you will become a warrior like David, but you will also get the curse of David. And if you're not strong enough to say, I'm going to break the cycle and I'm going to break the curse, you will not create the generational wealth that you need to create. Some of you, there are generational blessings in your family, but there are also generational curses. And you have to be strong enough to break the curse. He was blessed like his father, but he told the same lie as his father did. Stand all over this place. I'm done. I'm here to tell somebody in your family, Lebogozanda, you're going to change a cycle in your family. All of my life, Bishop, only car my father drive is old car. He will buy some car that is older than me. And I said to myself, when I'm going to buy my first car, I want a brand new car. Not because I want to hype, but because I want to break the generational curses. Some of you don't understand that you have to be deliberate in the season to break the cycle. Come on, somebody holler, break the cycle. Break the curses. I declare that as of today, the cycle is broken. I declare that as of today, the curse is broken. You will create generational wealth. But are you willing to make the sacrifice? Because in order to get something that you never had, you have to do something that you have never done. Are you willing to go the extra mile? Come on, work this with me. I'm just going to give you about 2 minutes and I'm done. Yeah. Are you willing to go the extra mile? I see people call me and they say, Shamar, every month you're on the board. You're just doing loans and booking this. How are you doing it? But at 6 o'clock come, they are through the door, and sometime 10 o'clock I'm at office. Just the same, working. And you want to talk about my result? It's because I put in the work. Are you willing to go the extra mile? Joshua generation, are you willing to go the extra mile? Where Moses stopped, are you willing to go further? Are you willing to go the extra mile? Come on, look at your neighbor and say, go the extra mile. Go the extra mile. I know it's weighty. I know it's rough, but go the extra mile. Come on, push. You have to break the rules in your family in order to become great. Break the rules. The woman with the issue of blood, she had to break the rule to receive her healing. Some of you don't understand that you have to break the rule in